All right, so this is the first podcast, and the name of it is Putting Things into Perspective. And this was like the first name that came to my mind, and I was wondering, what would definitely like fit this podcast, and this was the name that came into mind. So I want to start off with my bros that we've been, through thick and thin these years, especially throughout 2020. So I want to start off with y'all introducing yourselves.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is your boy Jonathan coming uh coming to you from Tennessee.
Okay. And you, Josh, you want to introduce yourself?
This is J to the T.
Yes, sir.
What's good, everybody? What's popping, y'all? I'm back with my brother, his podcast, first show. Y'all go subscribe to that man. All right, stop playing. You know where the button is. Subscribe, support, all that. You already know what it is. JT over and out.
Yes, sir. So um my name is Jawan, and originally from Georgia. Well, Atlanta. I mean, we can say different cities in Atlanta, but specifically from Decatur, Georgia. And, it's been very interesting on how we all met. Like, if I never made the move in 2016, I would never known who these two guys were, Josh and Jonathan. Like, I've first found out with Josh when my mom, she was moving and she was looking for a house, near the school that I was going to at the time. And Josh's mom was staying there. And also we found out about another staff at the school. His name was Mr. Dudley Houston. He passed away, and it was a shock to all of us. It was sad, but he really did leave behind, just he left behind a legacy that can be picked up from the next person at the school. I know now I'm definitely into cars. I mean, I was into cars in the past, but like now it's just been kind of a thing that I'm focused on, because I'm telling you, you want to know how to fix your own car, because if you don't, it's like you'll be setting yourself up for these mechanics just to run circles around you, man. It's not good. But before we get into that, because I actually have some talk, just a few things that we were going to talk about, but I want to hear from y'all, like how y'all been doing lately, man.
Well, for me, I've been blessed. Lord has given me talents and gifts. He has allowed me to pick up um he has allowed me to pick up my thoughts and to do what I'm supposed to do to help my parents and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the Lord has richly blessed me with family and friends. Like you said, uh, with Brother Dudley, um, he has really been a mentor to us.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, he has reached out to all of us. Um, he was a man of faith. he kept us on track in what we were supposed to do and everything.
Hmm.
Um, so that's how my and I mean, tell you the truth, my week has these last several weeks have been truly a blessing, not just for myself, but
Hmm.
I know y'all can relate to that as family, because that's what we are. Um, I actually first met you on when I came um to
I know, bro. I know
Harvey
it's kind of
Hills.
a like
Yeah,
thing. It's. I know. Like, look,
yeah,
this is all raw.
yeah.
This is
Mm-hmm.
unedited. Look, we're just being authentic, man. Hey, we make some mistakes.
True that.
It is what it is, man.
Yeah,
Let's just be authentic as
for
possible, man.
yes sir, yes sir. Yeah, but I first met you one when I was at Adamsville. We hit it off like that. Became friends and um built our relationship from there. Um, and when I first met Josh, I met him at at State Line um with my cousins and um and Devin and the rest of the guys. And it's just truly been a blessing to hang out and to talk with you guys and with all the struggles and stuff that we had and stuff like that. So
Yeah, man, definitely. Because I could tell you, like, these past 4 years has been trial and error. We've been through a lot. You know, some guys. I mean, like, there's some things that we like keep hearing to ourselves, and that's fine. Some things we can say to others, and some things we don't. We'll just keep it contained. Just within a small group, a small circle of like-minded bros, brothers. So yeah, definitely these past 4 years have been ups and downs, but hey, every day, even though it seemed like there's no progress, we just got put in a little bit. If we put no effort in, then we're still gonna be on ground zero instead of leveling up, or level zero, if you will. So at least, if like, the best thing we can do is just do something, and that way we'll be on a different level than we were before. So yeah, definitely, man. And you, Josh, how was your week, man? I know you've been you know on the grind at Job Corps, man. You ready to get out of there, man?
Thank you for everyone that's listening to the show. Appreciate my brother Jake and to the YouTube WAN
Hmm.
G1. I don't call him Joanne, I call him G1. You know what I'm saying, y'all? Uh, but other than that, I've been blessed. I can't say none, can't complain. Got everything I need. I'm about to complete actually the first week of March on the 6th. I'm completing Job Corps on the 6th. And I have a couple options. Either I'm gonna go to job, have a job at in Huntsville that they're gonna help me with that and get that fast,
Yeah, man.
or I could just go to advanced training. Advanced training is basically another job corps. It's way better. They treat you like an adult. You can go into the rooms. They can pay you way more money. They take you from work. They get you a job like instantly. Whatever job you want to do, they get you a job instantly. Snap of the fingers, you gonna get that job. Um, and it's in Texas, so it's everything is they're gonna get everything affordable for you and all that. So I'm A-litter. Because someone wanted me to go there because I would love to explore and see something new instead of living in Huntsville all my whole time all day long. It's time for change, new,
Yeah,
and just
change
trying to
is
see the world for real. So
yeah, change. We
hopefully
definitely need
2020,
change.
yeah.
Yeah, and March is
I'm
right
trying to
around the
make this
corner.
money and make it happen. You said what?
I say March is right around the corner too.
You said the Mark?
I was saying March is right around the corner. Like this is like the
Oh,
last full week of well, last week was the last full week of February. But
right.
yeah, man, just grind the rest of it out. You know, real soon you'll be finished.
Yeah. You say sorry for the young podcast people, but actually this week, well, I'm 95% in my trade, so once I get 100%, I'm complete. So next week, like basically tomorrow, I'll be at 97%. The week after that, I'll be completed. So it's coming, y'all. Everything's coming together. My high school, once you get 100%, you're complete. I'm 99% in my high school. I got to just do 3 PowerPoints, and I'm good. Done with that. But then I'll be done my trade, and I'll move to CTR. CTR is where you either wake up, be approved at the end of training, or you gonna already have a job when you go home. So yeah, this is my year. I gotta make it happen. No excuses. Full
Yep.
focus, lock in. Thank you for listening to the Juwan Show.
Yeah. So as
I don't know
far
how you
as
gonna edit it, but you'll edit it soon.
yeah, I'll do my edits, but it's like I said, we're just gonna be authentic now with the podcast. What we basically gonna be doing, we're gonna say how we've been doing, that kind of stuff, because we want to be as real as we can, and then also anything that happens out there. I mean, we've already had those conversations before. Like, I mean, we're not even trying to be Mr. or Mrs. News reporter reporting to you live from Atlanta or any other place that's crazy. Because man, I could tell you, there's been so much stuff happening down here, but we will cover things in the world, but we also don't want to only talk about that in the podcast. Now, the reason why I call it putting things into perspective, because the things that we're going to talk about, we really want to put it in perspective and make sense out of it. So, and also, like, even with the Bible, because there's been like a lot of things lately, people that I've come across, man, I'm telling you, there'll be like atheists and sometimes like there'll be people that sent your way that will literally like test you, like like test you on your faith. So
Hmm.
yeah, you have to be like prepared all times. That's why, like when I was reading the Bible, I said I just want to read it for myself, because it was like the first time I did it, like back in 2021. Versus just hearing it from the preacher. I decided that I wanted to you know just read the Bible, because this was something that I did for the first time from Genesis to Revelation. So the first time I did that was back in 2021, January 1st, and I finished like sometime in June of the following year, 2022. So this is like my third time doing that, but um, I want to ask y'all, like, this year has been off to a crazy start. We're already in February, and like I was saying earlier, we're already March is like literally, it's like around the corner. Well, literally, no, it's this Saturday that it's starting. So, um, we really gotta make it happen with all this stuff that's been going on. And I don't know if y'all want to touch up on some of these topics, but just the way how this year started off, and these little incidents. Like, I don't know if y'all probably remember about that whole New Orleans attack on January 1st. But it was basically a guy that went through like a crowd of people, and some people had ended up getting killed because he was just driving, just plowing through the crowd of people. And within that same day, there was also an explosion by a cyber truck at the Trump Tower. So we had all these things that happened in one day. And I'm gonna just tell y'all, when I got back in Atlanta, we were going to a youth convention. Just for people out there that may not know where it is, it's called GYC. It stands for General Youth for Christ. And I know Josh, he went back in 2020. I was going to go, but something came up to where it prevented that. And then the time that I was able to go and I paid for everything, and Josh, he had paid for the hotel, that's when I had got sick and I had to stay. And as a result, none of us went. So, we I said, well, I had to, wait. I wasn't able to get anything back from it. So last year was the opportunity for me to go. And I went, and I was, thinking about the funds, but I remember that my aunt was just telling me to go. I said, well, I'm like, yeah, I want to go, but I said, I just don't have the funds. But my aunt just said, here's the money, go. And little did I know that she had to go to an appointment to get a port taken out because she was taking chemo, but she, got off of it. And she said she just wanted to go the natural route. So she just wanted the port to be taken out of her since she wasn't going to continue on the chemo treatments. And shortly after that, that's when her health started regressing. She got in the hospital, but she got back out. But then, like, within like a few days later, my mom noticed something wasn't right. So she brought her back to the hospital. And after that, her health started regressing. This was like all during Thanksgiving week. So when I got back from visiting family in South Carolina, and after going to school that Monday, I remember just going straight to the hospital just for that whole week, because we were having finals around that time. So after that, I was talking to her, and she was talking back to me. She was aware of what was going on, and she wasn't eating as much, and that just rung or just threw a red flag at me, if you will. And I was praying with her. I read her some verses out of the Bible that she had. So from that day to Tuesday, she was still talking. And that's when the following day after, which was the 4th, which was Wednesday, she wasn't saying anything at all. And like later on, I had to go to work. But I do remember her telling me, Jawan, whatever you do not get sick. Because you have to deal with all these things. You have to deal with these doctors. And I'm telling you, we all been talking about, the 8 laws of health and natural remedies and stuff. We're going to be talking about that stuff on the podcast too. We're going to be covering that because, we want to prevent us from getting to that stage in the first place for the doctors to get their hands and onto us, if you know what I mean. Because once we're sick, then the doctors can pretty much have their way. That's if we allow them to. So yeah, I just remember that, and she just had everything set. She said, just go to. She said, don't worry about the cost. Just go to GYC. So it was a special trip. Even though it was my first time, it just meant a lot, But coming back that New Year's Eve up until the morning, because our flight left like around, because we had a connecting flight. It was from Columbus, Ohio, because that's where the GYC was at last year in 2024. And then from then on, it went to Washington Dulles Airport, and then from there we flew back to the Atlanta Hartsfield Airport. And I remember we landed on the tarmac before it actually hit 12 o'clock, and we actually got to the gate before it hit 12 o'clock. It was like 11:57, 11:58, and once we stepped off the airplane, that's when the pilot and the rest of the crew wished us Happy New Year. But as soon as we walked inside the airport, got our luggage, it wasn't a lot of people there. We it was just a different feeling. We caught a Uber home, and I'm telling you, I saw a car tipped over on its side, and it looked like the police was doing like a pit maneuver, like how they try to chase cars and try to stop them by doing a pit maneuver. So I guess they did that, and that's why it was on the side. And I'm like, okay, so this is how we starting the new year off. And then a few maybe like 15 minutes on the road, when we were on the other interstate, I saw a police making an arrest. It was three police cars behind one car, and they were making an arrest. I said, okay, so this is how we starting the new year off. I said, from then on, I said, yeah, this year's going to be crazy. But I don't want to take off all the time, because this is not just a one man show. What other things has y'all seen or experienced? I mean, besides what's happened on the news, but like anything that's happened to y'all that's been kind of strange.
Well, for me, like you was talking about your aunt.
Hmm.
I remember when you told me about your grandmother passing away,
Yeah.
and I remember that time where my grandmother, she was here, and she never we had got the mobile home for her, and she never actually lived in it. And it was about a day or two after your grandmother passed away, is when a day or two after when mine passed away. Um, you know, when it comes to family and stuff, you have to take care of your health. Um, read your Bible and pray, ask the Lord to protect you, to help you take the natural remedies that He has gave us. You know, um,
Hmm.
and especially with all the shootings um and all that's going on in the world um today, especially back then. You know, we have to be careful on what we say to one another because there's gonna be a time where we'll regret these things. So, you know, as family, we have to even though we have our arguments and stuff, we still have to be careful on how we treat each other. Show brotherly love to each other,
All right, good night, Lord.
you know. Um, yeah, because we're living in a dark world, you know, and there's things that are going on in the world even right now that people are doing that they know they're not supposed to be doing. So
Yeah, yeah, you're right about that. And sometimes some people don't even know that they're doing wrong. That's how dangerous it is. Like the times
hmm
that we living in, bro. Like straight up, like people just walking out here and just doing the most outlandish ish ever, and you like, bro, like how can you do this and not have any like sense of remorse? And you know that like you're walking around like you're not going to have any repercussions for the actions that you've done. You know, especially down here in Atlanta, man, it's been crazy. So you're definitely right. Like morality, all that stuff is fading away. You had it back in the 80s and 90s. You know, of course, I wasn't born back then. I know you were born, you know, around that time, but, you know, your childhood, you know, started, you know, around 90, 96, 97, and then, you know, definitely the 2000s. And I know my childhood was, you know, mainly in the 2000s. But we can definitely
mm,
see that even today's, you know, generation. I mean, I know we're like Gen Z and millennials, but I mean, I know we have our, you know, moments too when we were young, but this generation now, these kids coming up, I'm telling you, they're not even kids. They're just adults with a baby face. I mean, I know we, you know, some of us, well, most of us still like look like babies. Well, I don't know. It's just kind of weird, but another topic. But yeah, like morality is fading out, and good is being called bad or evil, and the evil is being called good. So we can clearly see that going on now. And like, okay, Trump is in, but and I'm gonna just state this for the record. We're gonna be real, and I've said this before. We're gonna be real, you know, like just you know expressing like how we feel because it's putting things into perspective. But with Trump being in,
mm,
it's like okay, Trump won, woohoo, right? But not at the same time because there's still going to be crazy things going on in the world, and like with him getting in, it's not like he's going to be the end all be all. So we're still going to be dealing with things, and even just you know, I just want to take a moment just to say those that have lost their family members in the plane crashes that's happened like within the span of over a month. We are
yes,
all sad with y'all. We are all
hmm
grieving. And like I said, I lost my aunt towards the end of last year. So all of us, believe it or not, we're being affected by grief. We've lost
and
family members and friends.
even with both of us losing our grandmothers as well, you know,
Exactly at the same time.
and
It was,
especially with Brother Dudley.
yes, all of that played a factor in. And this was like closing of 2024. So with that being said, when we were losing those the people like family, friends, church family close to us, I say, yep,
Mm,
I already knew this year was going to be something. And it's starting to show and reveal its true colors. Just, you know, like we couldn't even like get ourselves warmed up into this year without starting off with some fresh batch of BS, you know, just with the whole
yep, yep,
situation in New Orleans, and you know that. But, and, you know, like I was saying, we you know, it just it was sad, you know how those crashes happen. Like I mean, the first one that happened, it could have been prevented. You know, there were so many options that night. And first of all, why was the plane in? I'm gonna do. I still have to do a video on that because the reason why I haven't done it yet is because I still want to get my research in before I jump to conclusions. But you already had people
True.
saying, "Oh, it's DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion." I don't know if you don't know what that means, but it's kind of like a program to just hire people because they're black. They had to hire them because it's too much white people in the workplace, or there's too many of this group, so we have to balance it out and not have so much white people in here. And also we want to hire those just because of their color of their skin, but that within itself is racist. I mean, as much as that, as crazy as it sounds, if y'all want to call me Uncle Tom, I mean, fine. But okay, Uncle Tom is not even the name that y'all want to call me. For those y'all want to do your research, Uncle Tom was the good one. Sambo is the one you had to worry about when it came to the slavery times. He was the one that would tell
Mm-hmm.
wherever you did something, against, or we know you're not supposed to be doing because of what the slave master said at the time for you to do. So he would be the one. Sambo was the one you had to watch out for, but the Uncle Tom was the one to help. But going back to that, Trump should never say anything about DEI. When they were still trying to get the investigation of what really happened that night for those two aircraft to just collide like that. Because the airline, the pilot was not at fault. He was just coming in for a normal approach. So the helicopter, which was the Black Hawk military helicopter, they already said that that area is known for, you know, commercial aircraft and military aircraft traffic daily. But here's the thing, for y'all to have training exercises that time of night, y'all know y'all shouldn't have been flying at that altitude. Y'all should not been flying, in my opinion, and even other people said it, period. Because y'all knew that it was heavy air traffic coming in. Air traffic, like commercial airlines coming into land. So y'all should not been trained that night. And you would think
Mm-hmm.
that our military is smarter than that. But unfortunately, that night, nobody was not using any common sense. And they were
Right.
saying they
Right.
mistaken the plane that was taken off for the plane that they said, "Oh, do you see a CRG?" And they say, "Yes, we do." They mistaken it for a plane that was already taken off the ground versus the one that was approaching. So somewhere in that line, somebody messed up.
Mm-hmm.
The Black Hawk pilot and the air traffic control tower. And from what I heard, somebody stepped out that night that was supposed to work there. But that's more. I'm gonna just leave that more to investigation. So yeah, I'll probably talk about that in another time. But definitely want to go ahead and give closure to that because families are grieving right now. They're trying to figure out what else has happened. But ever since that ever since that crash on January 29th, we've had a series of other airplane incidents and crashes. So the air,
And
like
not
yeah,
only that, but the helicopter crashes too.
the helicopter
Um,
crashes. Exactly.
especially the one with Kobe and those other 9 adults
Yes.
that died in the helicopter crash. And I also want to give a shout out to those families who lost their family in the plane crash, and also shout out to Kobe's family.
Yeah. It's been
You
over
know,
5 years now, and the thing about it is, I sorry to the interrupt you on that, but you just brought something up that was
mm,
also in January when
yes,
Kobe's helicopter had crashed, and it was a foggy like morning afternoon because LA is
hmm
like at a different time than us, so it had to happen like sometime in the morning. But yeah, that was also January. That was January 27th. So for it to
yep,
happen in the same month is crazy.
hmm yep.
So, well,
Um, yeah, but this, you know, to those families that lost their 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 family in the plane crash, and even Kobe's family that um even Kobe's other two kids and his wife, you know, you have to keep them in prayer.
yeah,
You have to keep them in prayer, you know, because you never know when your time is gonna come.
that's so true because
You
this
know.
time is so it's very unpredictable now.
Hmm.
Yeah, we gotta definitely live our lives to the fullest. And like you were
Yes.
saying, um, we have to do what we have to do and not take, each other for granted because we just never know. And I know I was last year, it was in December. I remember I was on the way to church one Sabbath morning on Saturday, and
Mm,
I saw, how the Jeep, like any like other SUVs, they have like that spare tire that's attached to the back of the trunk door. So, and I
yeah.
know like the older CRVs have that little thing
Hmm.
feature, but they kind of changed to where the spare tire location is. But yeah, so I saw on there that the person had like a little design, and it said "One life, live it." And this was after this was like the same week that my aunt passed. And when I saw that, I said, okay, it's like I'm kind of getting confirmations. And I remember my dad had ordered some table mats, and on the box it said "Live life to the fullest, whatever it takes." I'm like, that's kind of funny to see something like that written on the
Uh,
box.
right.
I'm like, all of these things just telling me, and it happened all at the same time. So, like you said, we have to enjoy the time we have because you just like you never know what you have until it's gone. So
Hmm.
yeah, but as far as with Kobe, it's still hard to believe because it's been like 5 years, literally like 5 years. Like
Yeah.
5 years have gone
Yeah.
by, and we realize
Hmm.
2029 is like 4 years from now, and after that is 2030. So you can pretty much say we're halfway through the decade.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, that time with Kobe, and even with all his fans, his teammates, and everybody else, you know,
Yeah.
that he learned from and played with. Some of them, some of his teammates, and even other people from other teams were practically his family because he played with them, he learned from them and stuff like that. So, you know, when you have people like that, you have to learn from one another and grow.
Hmm.
You know, because you don't want to regret all of the times that you missed. You have to look towards the future, look towards now and what you can do now. You know.
Yeah, that's what you have to do because, and that's a
Hmm.
very important thing that you just stated because we'll be so focused on the future rather than living life in the present. We can prepare for the
Right.
future, but we've already seen what looking so much to the future has done. Like for example,
Mm-hmm.
2020. We were planning for graduation. Like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, down the other. I'm gonna invite these many people to graduation. I know definitely Jonathan. Yeah, we were planning this. He's like, yeah, bro, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna go to my
Yeah, man.
my my friend, my
And
my
I.
bro Sammy's graduation after yours, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
it came to a halt.
Yep. Yep. And you know, as you say that, You know, I remember when you kept on telling me they kept on changing the date. You know,
Hmm.
when I was, for me, I was looking forward to coming to see you graduate and stuff, going to see my boy Sammy graduate. And, you know, with COVID came and hit, and COVID just messed everything up, man. Even, and even though I wanted to see you, I know for me, I was upset, you know, but I got over it. So
Hmm.
you can't, you can't let these things upset you for too long, you know?
Right, right, right. Yeah, man. Cause I'm telling you, we had things, planned out for that year, laid out, but that
Yep.
was a sad year too. But when I think about it, it happened for a reason. Cause if it did not happen, I don't think we would be doing any of the things that we were doing right now. Like it literally
Right.
gave us a wake up call. And when you think about
Mm-hmm.
2020, 2020 is also a term of perfect vision when you go to an eye doctor. So for
True.
all that stuff that happened in 2020, I say, you know what? That goes like it correlates so well with that term of 2020 being perfect vision, because 2020 opened our eyes to a lot of stuff. And I mean, this is
Yep.
a small channel. I mean, we just started off. I mean, I could see some things, you know, just for example, the government,
Mm.
like all this stuff, they were lying to us, and we were finding out things, and how they kept the information back from us. They kept playing it off like, oh, we're not gonna go into lockdown, and oh, the virus is not gonna be that bad. And little did we know, they were gonna use it as a weapon to control us. So I mean, if you just look at it just from that year and the things that they were doing, and we know it built up over time to where they had control over us, because they had us in a frantic mode. Like, and especially the counts of the deaths and the cases, they were reporting on this stuff
Yes.
daily. They knew what they were doing.
Mm-hmm. And another thing with that is when they force you to wear the mask. You know,
Yeah.
for people um that have um for people that have breathing problems, right?
Hmm.
You cannot force somebody to wear a mask. It's up to the person. It's their choice if they want to wear a mask or not. You know, and even though there's people around you and they coughing and stuff, you know, you have to learn to get away from that stuff. If they coming towards you, you turn around and go the opposite direction. You know. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like you still had to take, precautionary measures, because you were still dealing with some nasty people.
Yeah.
Still deal with
Yep.
them.
Yep.
Um, yeah. Hey, Josh, you still there? Hey, Josh.
Yeah, I'm still here. I was just
Oh,
listening, y'all.
okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know. We just talking about some of the things, even just starting off from this year. I just wanted to, make this so that way we can, say we started this, and you know we'll definitely have some more things as time goes by.
Hmm.
It's what
And what we're
matters is
gonna have
what
to
we
do,
started.
yep. And what we're gonna have to do is keep on doing our research, man. So when we come on our podcast, we can talk about these things.
Yeah, definitely. because we definitely want to enlighten people. And even though we at the same time have our flaws, we may not get everything right. That's why we encourage,
Right.
you know, just you all and other people just to do their research, because that's what we did.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
especially it's so hard, especially if you like been watching the news every time. Now you do also want to be
Right.
careful where you get your resources from, but you got
True.
to understand that everything that may be important may not be mainstream. So yeah, definitely take time to do your independent research and not just listen to us, but we'll back up what we said with articles. And it may not just even be one article, it can be more, so that it won't be like, okay, well,
Mm-hmm.
that's just one source saying that, and that just says that they're biased. But no, you definitely want to do that, because right now you have the technology to do the research. And with Trump in, I mean, you're gonna see all kind of stuff going on. So, yeah, I don't mean that in a negative light, but you're going to see so much exposing that you at like so much things being exposed that you never seen before. Some people might actually have a heart attack. Like, I'm not going to lie, because you have some celebrities that are getting exposed, and it all started last year in 2024. And Cat Williams, he called it out early on that year. He said it's 2024 and a
Yep.
lot's going to be exposed. So it's not even
Mm-hmm.
done. There's still more people to be exposed. So any of y'all better be prepared. You better get
And
your
not
heart prepared, so y'all won't get no heart attack now.
and not only Cat Williams, but Henry Enrique brings this out too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now,
He brings all of that out too.
for those that are not familiar with Henriquez, he's an Adventist pastor, and he has like a little show of his own, and he basically covers, current events along with Bible prophecy. So the name of his church is Save to Serve as well.
Mm-hmm. And I would encourage those who are out there to go and listen to his channel, to listen to um the Midday Power Surge, because he has a lot of good information. He brings a lot of stuff that is going on in the world out,
Hmm.
especially today, in today's world. He brings a lot of the information from today and from even back then. He brings a lot of that information out.
Definitely. So yeah, I actually got a few of the topics we already talked about. 2025 being off to a rough start, and then another thing
Mm.
I want to talk about is AI is getting out of
Yes,
control.
artificial intelligence.
Yes, it's getting out of control, because if y'all think about this, about how there'll be those that try to impersonate Jesus in the last days. The technology that we
Hmm.
have now, they can literally make like a holograph of Jesus coming like in the skies. Because I
Yep.
saw at the airport they had this holograph of this gun, like they were showing no guns, going through the TSA, security checkpoint at the airport. And the way they have the holograph and make it look realistic, they can do the same thing. So that's why it's important for people to read their Bible. Because if they say, well, Jesus is in Atlanta. If I was to call you, Josh or Jonathan, and say, hey, Jesus is in Atlanta, and y'all don't see him where y'all are, you already know the answer to that question. But for everybody else, they don't know that. So that's why it's
mm,
important for people to really understand and read the Bible for themselves, because there's a lot of people now that are into a spiritual community. Now it's important to be spiritual, but for you to just push God and just rely on doing these little different, I guess, rituals and using sage, burning sage, and all this other stuff. It's like you're worshiping nature or you're worshiping creation, but you're not worshiping the creator. And
right.
we already seen clear examples of that being done, and that's been done by the Catholic Church. So it's like going back to paganism, but people just have to be enlightened on it. But when Jesus come back, everybody's gonna see him. It's not gonna be one person see him there, because and also his foot's not gonna even touch the ground. That's just how sinful and dirty this planet is. He is not gonna touch the ground. He's already done it once. He's not doing it again. He don't want to come
Mm-hmm.
back here. He does not want to touch his earth again. So, and just to let y'all know, we're no better. We're not perfect. We have our flaws, and I said that in the beginning. We have our issues that we face as young men, and there's times where I slip up and I might say words. That's just how it is. But I always go to God in prayer. But we do have to get to that point to where we have a better, or yeah, I would say like a better character, so that we're prepared for when he comes, so there won't be no sin found in us. So just to state that for the record, and we'll do our best in
Mm,
this podcast not to have we get upset or flip our lid on something. Just do the best we can not to curse. I mean, I know it's been hard for me to contain my words and not to use any cursing or anything. So that just to let y'all know that, and that we're not in any means gonna say and point fingers like, okay, well, y'all are, and that's the thing with modern Christianity, like, is a lack of authenticity of why most people are not even in church in the first place. So if you compare Christians here in the West or United States versus those like in the Eastern countries, they're the ones that are suffering and they're getting persecuted. But over here, it's like we're
mm-hmm.
playing church, and it's almost like a show. Like, how they be like, and I know, Jonathan, you can definitely talk about this, that they'll be like, oh, I got the Holy Ghost, and they start speaking in tongues, like quote unquote tongues. And it's not tongues, it's just gibberish. That's nothing. And people are looking at this, and then somebody touches the person and then they fall out on the ground and shaking and stuff. Like, I can understand why people don't want to go to church, because it looks like a whole show. Is nothing real about like church, nothing in regards to like authenticity when it comes to God. And that's why people don't take us serious. So we definitely have to be examples, even though sometimes it can be hard. But I know right now I just start like distancing myself from, not distancing myself from people, but like at church, people can say one thing but then do another. And that's why, and even us young people, like as young people has been leaving the church. And I ain't gonna lie with y'all. I felt that way. I'm like, okay, well, this is what's going on. I'll just be fine reading my Bible on a Saturday morning, having Bible study, Sabbath school, and I'm done. I don't have to go to church. I don't have to deal with this brother here, so and so. I don't have to deal with sister so and so arguing with brother so and so about something stupid. It's like, I don't need all that
mm,
drama. Cause look, we go to church for a renewing and also to have strength to go through the next following week, and also to be an encouragement to other people that we come, across. Because there's a lot of people out there, like I stated, that's hurting and that's going through things. And
mm,
we just never know. So for us to witness to them, right, and then bring them into church and they see all that stuff going on, that's a discouragement. We're trying to bring them in the church,
yeah,
but if we can't get our acts together and we're fighting amongst one another because we think, oh well, your relationship with God is not there, and you need to get to this point. You don't have God, you don't have the Holy Spirit, because I'm telling you, that's what's been happening at church lately. And it's been very discouraging for me. I said I can witness to somebody, but how does it look? I bring them into this, and they seeing a few members arguing every Sabbath morning. That is very, very, very sad.
and it's not just the older adults, but that even happens with us as young adults growing
Hmm.
up. Because I have I have witnessed and being on the other side of that too, arguing with other youth, younger youth and stuff like that. But when it comes to arguments and stuff, you have to learn to sit down with the person and talk things out. You know, especially because even with us, we probably have an argument and stuff, but we actually will sit down and actually talk about what's going on. Especially with my nephew, my boy Sammy. You know,
Hmm.
with we have our arguments and stuff when I was living in Port St. Lucie, we had our arguments and stuff, but we actually knew how to talk things out. So
Right.
it's all that's basically the key. To go to the person and talk things out. Say, hey man, um, I'm sorry for doing this and this to you. Can you forgive me? You know, tell your brother, tell your church brother, your blood church sister, whoever it is. Tell them you love them, and you do your thing, because I want to say this: you must fail in order to succeed. You know,
Hmm.
because the more times that you fail, there's going to be one time where you would when you shall succeed. And I believe Darius said the very same thing on, I think it was either Instagram or TikTok. You know, you're gonna fail. He said you're gonna fail 1,000 times, but there's gonna be one time when you're gonna have success and succeed, and that's true. That is very true. So
Yeah, because if you don't do anything, because I mean, it feels discouraging. You start something, and it's like it's not going anywhere,
right,
and it's like, okay, why even bother trying again? But you try it again, again,
yep.
again, again, and
Hmm.
now, like you said,
And
out that how many times you know you're gonna succeed.
right. And there's one other thing where it says, um, if you at first if you don't succeed, try again. You know,
Hmm.
we have to take these we have to take we have to take these things very seriously and have an open mind to when have an open mind. You know, like I said, you're gonna fail so many times, but there's gonna be one time where you're gonna succeed. So I would for me, and I know both of y'all can say the same thing, but for me personally, I would encourage those who are out there who want to get things started. You know, go ahead and get what you need to get started because it's gonna be a time where we won't be able to do these things. So if you're going if you're gonna do what you have to do, go ahead and do it now. You know, um, and especially for us Adventists as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, being a living witness, going out there and being a witness to those who we are around, especially when we at our workplaces. You know, because I can tell you, for me, for one, I witness to people when I'm at my job. I tell them um about the water and the different things that like all the sodas and stuff and how it's not good for the body and stuff. And you know, we had our experience with that, um, drinking the sodas and the different snacks and stuff. But
Yeah.
as time has gone on, we overcame that. And you know, that's as I said that there's a movie that came out called Overcomers. For by is Kendrick Brothers movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um Again, I just want to encourage those who are out there that really want to get something uh started. Go ahead and do it now.
Yeah, just to back up what Jonathan just said, the longer you wait, the more time you're going to regret. And I know this might kind of sound crazy, but the same way I'm regretting a moment of something I didn't do in the past, it's like, oh, well, I
Mm,
mean, this is 2025. I wish I did that in 2024.
right.
Believe it or not, you're going to regret that same moment that you regret another moment in the past, if that kind of makes sense. Because I remember in 2019, I was regretting of not, you know, starting early, playing soccer. But I said, well, at least I started in 2016. That's when I
Mm-hmm.
actually like touched the actual soccer ball and started kicking it. But now I'm regretting even trying harder to even get on the team at the high school. This was
Mm,
2019. So I'm regretting that moment. I was regretting that moment in 2020. And then here it is, 5 years later. I'm regretting even training harder in 2020 because of the free time that we had. And I was, graduating high school that year. So it's like, it's going to
right.
continue to keep going on and on and on. You're going to keep regretting a moment that you regretted another moment. I know it sounds crazy, but in we
Mm-hmm.
need to wake up, man, especially us men, us young men. It's a very dangerous thing
Yeah.
to just wake up every day and not know what you need to do, like your purpose. And, of course, praying keeping everything in prayer, talking to God, but also He wants you to take that action. Because I'm telling you, it would just bring you down a spiral of just endless regrets, man. And it's like
Yep.
you're still young.
Yep. Hmm. Yep. Yep. And even before you roll out of bed, you have to know what you have to do for that day. You know,
Exactly.
because even before I get up and I roll out of bed, I'm thinking about what I have to do for the day. You know, get my stuff accomplished and do what I have to do.
Yeah, you have to have a structured schedule. As much as that, may vary now, because life is full of unexpected things. You just have to learn how to
Hmm.
work around it. But the key to doing that is going to bed early. Something that I've been
Yep.
struggling with. In
Yep.
order to get up early, you have to go to bed early. Because if you go to bed late, you're gonna be getting up late. So that's just
Hmm.
how that vicious cycle stops. And I know I've tried that so many times and it's worked. But as of lately, I've been slipping up. And like I said in the beginning, we're not any better. We still have our own flaws. So,
Right.
just knowing that your sleep it
Still
all
have
starts with going to
and
sleep.
still have our ups and downs.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, but this has been a very, you know, interesting podcast, for it to be the first episode. I know I keep repeating I might be repeating some words y'all might hear me saying, and and this stuff. But we have to work on our. See, I say already like so many times,
Mm.
but you have to start something, and then you look back and say, okay, I can change this, can do things differently. That's the beauty of starting something, so that you can look at areas that you can improve in. Because how you gonna learn from your mistakes if you don't try anything? You're still gonna be
Right.
stuck on the same level. You're not gonna. It's almost like a recipe that you try. How are you gonna know if you don't never like make anything, and then you can always change the recipe later on once you get the right
Facts.
measurements. So it's like you're pretty much
Yep.
cooking. You're cooking up,
Hmm.
cooking up with ideas, and y'all know where I'm going with this now. Cooking, because
Yep. I know exactly where you're going with it.
cooking can mean two different things. Cooking
Can
in
I
the
get a
kitchen.
testimony?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead, bro.
Like, it's like I've been thinking, like, you like while y'all talking, like, there's been times where people like tell me, like, because sometimes I'll be like, man, I'm at job corps, like right now. It's like I'll be like, I don't know, like, really what to record and stuff. Like, and I be telling them that, but some will be like, you record this, you record that. And one of these RAs, like, he's pretty cool. He'll tell me, you can record anything, man. Like, there's stuff to record, you can do stuff. It's like, I just be like, bro, you don't understand. Like, concert, I know, like, this shit gonna be boring as hell. But I remember when, like, oh yeah, my bad for the curse. But anyways, I was like, um, I was gonna say, like, this one guy I watched on TikTok, he was saying, record your boring life. People want to see like this and that. So honestly, like, he's right though. Like, because the way he was editing his videos, he was like, it's like it's facts. It don't gotta be a boring ad. I don't gotta be a boring edit video. It could be fire edit video.
Hmm.
But you know, there's certain things in your life that's boring right now. Cause You may can't always like do this and do that, but once you can do this and do that, then you'll be able.
Yeah, because you want to like progress to that level, and
Right.
it all starts from somewhere. You're not like like I was saying, you're not gonna know anything if you're still like overthinking it and like okay, well, I mean, I don't know what's gonna be like because you just keep thinking about it. But I remember when you introduced me to CapCut, and this is when we were taking content creating more serious back in like 2020, 2021. I said, okay, let me go ahead and download CapCut. Man, the moment I download that app, and Josh, I'm telling you, this brother here, and y'all check his channel out, Jay. I know he changed his channel name like a few times, but it's official JT two times. I'll definitely support him on his channel as well as his Instagram and his TikTok. So, he put me on to a CapCut and that app, and I'm pretty sure everybody else can see it. It's been the best editing, like video editing app. Definitely better
Yep.
than iMovie. iMovie is trash. No pun intended, Apple, but y'all gotta do better, man.
I would take. I would say this. CapCut is. I would say CapCut is the top number one out of all the editing apps that I have seen that I've seen people use. Because you can cut things, you can cut what you want to cut out of the video and keep what you want to keep. You know.
Exactly. Yeah. It has so many features that you would never find in iMovie. And Apple, they're changing things, but nothing can really compare with CapCut. And I know we had like a ban because CapCut is under the same parent company app that TikTok is under, ByteDance. So we had that little ban for a few
Yeah.
days here in the United States, but we got it back on though, and it's also back in the App Store. So y'all better go ahead. We better go and take advantage because you never know, they might probably put the ban back on until the CEO or the parent company or trying to sales part of the app to the US. We're still on standby, but definitely want to go and take advantage of that because people were literally losing their minds. Now, there's been some things like TikTok and like my brother Jonathan was saying, TikTok, like any Instagram, like any social media apps, can be used for good or for evil. And we can clearly
Mhm.
see that right now. And everything that he said, I'm like, yep. But the thing about it is, it's being used more so for bad than good.
Yeah.
Sad, but that's why I never got in a TikTok account. Now I've been doing some thinking lately. I said, I might be able to use it because with TikTok, things will go more viral than it would with Instagram or YouTube Shorts. So I'm still keeping
Mhm.
that consideration. But yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Because
Oh, go ahead.
I was talking. I was actually talking with my cousin Cav,
Mhm.
and he was telling me because he has a TikTok account. And with his TikTok account, he's been doing really good with it and everything.
Mhm.
And he's been getting a lot of followers and stuff. So, and especially with Josh and Darius. And I'm even on it. I haven't started anything on TikTok per se, but you know, just by watching just by getting the inspiration, and and stuff. Because even my nephew, my nephew has a channel, and y'all know he does his dancing and different things like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah, he real good too,
with
man.
him, oh, you seen some of his videos?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Definitely better than
yeah.
me.
So yeah, that's true. But he's been doing it from when he was young, from when he was in his teens. So he's been doing it for quite a while.
And see, that's one of the good things about starting something when you're young, because that's what I'm saying. It takes only one day for you to say, you know what, I want to do this. And you see how
Right.
your nephew started that when he was young. And now
Mm-hmm.
he's so a pro at it. So that's why it's so important to start things as soon as you can. Like you said, anything you want to get done, go ahead and do it now. That should be your
Yeah.
motivation. Every single person that's listening to this podcast now, that should be your motivation right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would say this: do not wait until it's too late to start something, because you will have regrets if you do wait long. You'll have regrets of starting things late. So if you actually want to do something, from all of us, that even the three of us that's on the podcast, we are witnessing and being an inspiration and inspiring people to go ahead and do um what y'all want to do now. If y'all want to start a YouTube channel, TikTok, whatever it is, go ahead and do it now. Don't wait until it's too late and then you have regrets.
Yep. Couldn't be better said than that. So yeah, but yeah, that was first episode. Anything y'all else y'all want to say before we bring this first episode to a close?
Um, I would say, like, you're always gonna have gray areas for you do whatever you want to do, but if you stick to your plan and your mindset, you'll get far. And having God number one, it's nothing in this world that you can't do.
For me, I would say do not hesitate to start what you can do starting from today. Take the initiatives, take the inspiration, take the um take the encouragement from us, because we have been in this we have been doing this for quite some time. So take the initiative, take the inspiration, take the encouragement from us. Go ahead with what you got and do it now. Don't hesitate, and again, you won't fail 1,000 times before you can actually succeed.
Trust the
Yep.
process.
Yep. Definitely trust the process. Trust in God
Yes.
and just keep on trucking to the finish line. Hey,
One more thing I would say.
yeah.
One more thing I would say before we wrap this up. there's a verse in the Bible that says, um, whatever your hands find to do,
Do it
do all to the glory of
for
God.
God. Amen. And also to tag along with what you just said is Philippians 4 verses 13. I used to say this verse so many times during worship. We'll have like say say your memory verses before we pray and close out to
Mm-hmm.
either start the day or before going to bed. And I remember
Yep.
always saying Philippians 4:13, I can do all things with Christ who strengthens me. So that correlates just along
Yep.
with that verse.
Yep.
And also, and this should be a bell ringer right here. There's also a verse in the Bible that says to whatever that you need to do, like with your hands, do it with all your might. For like under the sun, you know what? Hold on. Let me find the exact verse because I don't want to butcher the whole thing. And that's one of the things you
Yeah.
don't want to butcher the word of God. Now that's nasty
No.
work right there. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, let me go ahead and find that verse so I won't mess that one up. Let's see. Let's see. There is.
Oh wow.
So, yeah, yes, it's Ecclesiastes 9 verse
I
10.
got it. I got another verse after this.
Okay,
After you do your verse.
okay, yeah, definitely keep that verse in mind.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ecclesiastes 9 verses 10. So, turn to it now, and it says, and this verse right here speaks volumes. This should be speaking volumes to everybody right now. So it says, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave wherever thou goest. So that best says right there, you better go ahead and do what you need to do while you're still alive. Live your life to the fullest. Of course, put God first. Don't just be doing anything because it can be
Right.
very well destructive and lead you down roads that you're going to be it's gonna be so hard. I'm just gonna put it this way: that's gonna be hard to get out of. So you definitely want to put everything to God, but at the same time, this just shows you that God is one that wants you to take action. He doesn't want you to sit around and just keep thinking, fiddling your little thumbs and saying, I don't know, I want to do this today. No, you better go ahead and do something because this right here clearly says you need to live your life to the fullest, do what you need to do because once you're gone, you're gone.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I know
Yep.
Jonathan, you had a verse as well.
Yeah. So this is on my phone. I have a Bible on my phone, and every day it gives me a Bible verse, and it's So this Bible verse is taken from um Proverbs 4 verse 23, and it says, "Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are issues of life." So we have to keep that first in mind as well, because life will life has its ups and downs, and we all have our issues. And no matter what life throws at us, we have to learn to take life as it is, and reading the Bible will help grow your inspiration and give you the knowledge that you need to do what you have to do,
Hmm.
and give you inspiration to do what you have to do.
Definitely, and all that will be done also through prayer. Because if you just go into the Word of God without praying,
Yep,
then you're
yep,
not gonna understand
yep.
anything.
And prayer is a powerful thing.
It definitely is. And I know it may be kind of hard to believe things not gonna happen right, like right immediately, but in due time it will come. And what
Yeah.
most people think about with God is like, okay, well, why it's not happening immediately? But it's almost like the same principle as with our parents. You know, it was something that we
Mm,
wanted to get, whether if it was a toy, if it was candy, they'll probably say, wait, not right now. Because trust me, if we had our way when we were kids, we probably would be even 10 times worse as the kids right now. Just to be real with
mm.
y'all, I'm not
And
going to lie on that.
you know, as you say that, that reminds me of Jeremiah when he was younger, and we had to keep on telling him to calm down. It
Hmm.
now that he's growing up and he understands and stuff. It's a different mindset from. He came a long way from where he was to who he is now, and not just for him, but for all of us. You, me, Josh, Darius, Dwight, all of us. Even Mariah. We all came from we all came we all growing up and everything, and we had our ups and downs from back then, even now, growing up from back then to now. It's
Hmm.
we came a long way.
We definitely have. Well, that concludes our first podcast. And until next time, this is Juwan Simmons.
It's Jonathan Williams.
Yes, sir.
And that is Josh. And we'll be back next Sunday for another edition of Putting Things in Perspective. So definitely be on the lookout for next Sunday's episode for episode 2. And have a very productive week. And remember to always put things into perspective. Have a good week.